Remember when they had a Dilbert-themed vitamin burrito? Mineral fortified burrito enthusiast Professor Jelly here, and today we dive into the Dilberito on this episode of Weird Wikipedia. As you likely know, Dilbert is a very successful media franchise that deals with the perils of modern office work. And while most of the adaptations that it's had over its 30-year run have been very successful, there is one that has not. The Dilberito was a Dilbert-branded, microwavable, frozen veggie burrito coming in multiple varieties that contained 100% of the recommended daily intake of 23 essential vitamins and minerals. How did this fail? So to trace the storied history of the Dilberito, we need to start at the Dilbert Future, a comedy book in which Scott Adams makes predictions such as, in the future there will be two types of people, superstars and perspiration wipers. Those who are neither will be managers. And when you know it, one of the predictions that gets made is that in the future there will be a fictional food item called the Dilberito that will meet 100% of a human's nutritional requirements, thus solving the nutritional crisis of the modern era. So apparently Mr. Adams took this joke a little bit more serious than he probably should, because he decided to make this dystopian future a reality. And I want to say right here, this was not some quick idea designed to be a cash grab. For some reason, in between cranking out episodes of Dilbert, Scott Adams decided that he would become absolutely obsessed with the field of nutrition. In his autobiographical book, How to Fail at Almost Everything and Still Win Big, Adams goes really deep into his studies of nutrition. Like, he literally has an entire chapter discussing diet. And in these discussions, he came to the conclusion that diet is the #1 cause of health-related problems in the world, and that he, yes, Scott Adams, creator of Dilbert the comic strip, should be the messiah to lead us into the promised land with a frozen burrito. So in 1998, the Scott Adams Food Company was founded, and based off the press, the man had high hopes, expecting $4.5 million in sales in 2001, saying that he had created the blue jeans of food. So, how'd it go? Well, at least on the surface, great. Somehow, even though that he was a complete newcomer to the food world and only had one full-time employee, Scott Adams Foods was able to sell Dilberitos into Walmart, Costco, gas stations, and a majority of grocery store chains. And it was definitely a talked about food item because seemingly everybody did a piece on the freaking Dilberito. CNN, New York Times, business journals, everybody was doing it. We don't have the original moon landing footage, but by God, we got the life story of the Dilberito. But not all the coverage was exactly positive. So there are many things that are wrong with the Dilberito. I will try to break them down the best of my ability. First and foremost, the name is terrible. Now, according to Scott Adams, it is Dilberito. But over the course of this video, I have struggled, like a single mother at the end of the month, to not say Dilberito. Second, the Dilberito sucked. When the New York Times called it a vitamin pill wrapped in the tortilla, that wasn't a compliment. The burrito's taste was described as having to have been designed by a food technologist or someone who eats lunch without much thought to taste. Let me just remind you of the concept of the Dilberito. It was a frozen, low-calorie vegetable burrito that was topped with vitamin powder. So, yeah. Third, if you did happen to accidentally eat a Dilberito, you were likely not to do it again. The after effects of the Dilberito have been described as so explosive that they would turn your intestines into a tail. I'll let Mr. Adams give his color commentary on the subject.
The feedback from the customers said apparently this product made you fart more than any product of all time. I think we could fuel a major city with two Dilberitos and a couple of pigs, so you'd have all the methane you ever needed.
Fourth, the Dilberito was just marketed incorrectly. Okay, so Dilbert is a comic dedicated to finding the humor in white-collar work. So who do we advertise this to? College students. A large percentage of which are vegetarians, but a larger percentage of which are not currently working a white-collar job and don't know what a freaking Dilbert is. Okay, what are the main selling points of the burrito? Its health benefits. Who does not eat comic strip branded frozen burritos that they found in the gas station? People who care about their health. Fifth, Scott Adams chose what is possibly the worst single type of food to go into the market for: frozen burritos. So for those who don't know, companies actually pay money to get their products placed on certain shelves in grocery stores. And frozen items are among the most expensive due to the expense of keeping them frozen. This led to the Dilberito being placed in the bottom shelves, which is the least popular place for sales due to it being hard to see. Scott also claims that a rival company would come and just cover up the Dilberito with their burritos, so that the customers weren't even given the chance to see them. Some might say that this rival company was actually protecting customers, but that's not for me to say. And lastly, amongst all this news coverage that was following the Dilberito was the question of, does this thing even work? Just as Scott Adams discovered in his initial research, nutrition is a very complex and difficult field to navigate. And as many nutritional scientists stated, trying to create a single anything that will completely fulfill every single vitamin and mineral requirement for every single human is, we'll say, possibly not the place of the Dilberito. Also, some scientists were saying that due to the specific makeup of the vitamin supplements that were placed in the Dilberito, it possibly made the thing dangerous due to a potential overdose of certain vitamins, especially if, heaven forbid, you ate more than one Dilberito. All of these issues started to build up, and so, not long after it was first released, the Dilberito was canceled after losing the Scott Adams Food Company millions of dollars. And so in short time, the Dilberito was taken off the market, and the Scott Adams Food Company sailed into the distance, never to be seen again. And so, in retrospect, there are many things to be said about the Dilberito. On its positive side, it was not just some licensing deal that Scott Adams cooked up to get a few bucks. It was truly a situation of a man putting his money where his mouth was, and then immediately discovering that money tastes horrible and you should not put it in your mouth. In the contemporary interviews, Scott really tries to push this ethical capitalism idea of the concept. He was just really trying to give back to the comic reading public, which made his profession a reality, by dealing with an issue that he felt strongly about. But sometimes, we just can't see the forest for the trees. Today, the Dilberito lives on as a fuzzy memory, and also as an unupdated website from the 90s with a still playable Dilberito Flash game. All in all, the Dilberito just leaves me with one question. If you wanted to make a Dilbert branded vitamin in a tortilla shell, why didn't you just make a vitamin? You know, like an adult depressed version of like a Flintstone gummy. I mean, maybe next time, Scott. Dilberito. This has been Professor Jelly. If you like this video and you want to see more weird Wikipedia pages, make sure to subscribe. Also, have you ever eaten a Dilberito? Are you still alive? Please tell me. I will call the ambulance if you need it.